Good evening. Good evening. It is a wonderful Sunday evening. Thank y'all for that are logged on. For those who are going to watch this replay, I hope y'all was able to get some church today. Bedside Baptist or one way or another. You got some word in you and some good praise and worship, no matter what you got going on. But tonight, we are overall just recapping the week that we've had, but also how do we move forward? Because prayer is our starting point, but that's not where we end. The Bible talks about having faith and works. So this campaign, even with Cover Our Schools, is about implementing both of it, not just praying and then we not doing nothing else. No, God has given us the ability to be here, to be in our bodies, to be flesh, to be conduit, so that we are actually doing work on top of our praying. And tonight we're just going to talk about ways that you can support. Again, this is one of your first time watching any of these videos this week. So my name is Kelly Bell. I'm a Kingdom Strategist, the founder of Kelly Bell Consulting, where we focus on restoring families. We concentrate on providing strategies for three of the pillars that help society function, which is family, marriage, and education. I have a lot of resources and things for more so women and young ladies for marriage, motherhood, the whole 9 yards. So you can go to my website for all the information at www.kellyjbell.com for all that good stuff. But tonight we're specifically talking about the Cover Our Schools aspect of it, which is a campaign started by Kelly Bell Consultant, myself. All right, so this week we did overall recap. We prayed for quite a few different things. I'm looking at my notes. We prayed about school personnel, which is our teachers, our administrators, our paraprofessionals, clerical staff, lunch crew, custodians, the whole 9 yards, everybody that has some type of aspect with public education. Then we also prayed about our student mental health and all of those providers who work with those students, as we see the increase of that. As I shared before, suicide is the second leading cause of death for adolescents between the age of 10 through 24. And we are seeing the increase of that. For 9 years of my years in education, I worked as the mental health designee, working with students all the way from elementary to middle school. And I have seen the increase of students who want to die, the increase of the panic attacks and depression and all those other problems that they've been dealing with and trying to overcome. So we covered those babies. We also cover students who are struggling academically and socially. There are a lot of kids who are being bullied, a lot of kids who feel alone, a lot of kids who have deficits and learning gaps throughout their educational background. So covering those students, our babies on IEPs, our ESOL students. I know I'm probably using terminology that if you're not in education, you may not know, but just stick with me. Then we also prayed about leadership and legislation, how important this is. We literally called out every role and every role that plays a part in policies and statutes from the federal to the state and to the local levels. Then we talked about as well as budget. When you look at the 2026 projections from the federal and from the state, it is horrific. But there are a lot of things that are on the chopping block with Head Start programs, the migrant supplemental things and support. A lot of those things are planned to be taken away. Then our next day of prayer was on school safety against these school shootings. When you look at the data for school shootings, it is horrible, and it has increased since the pandemic. There's so much data out there, and I'm not here to bore you with that type of stuff. Those are things that I am interested in. I love to look at data as well. But even with school safety, with the many shootings with active shooters and inactive shooters, or the threats. So we covered that. And then last night we covered believers on school campuses, that they have the courage to be bold in their walk, that they walk with confidence, and that they're okay with representing Christ on their campuses, whether it's students or whether it's staff. So within all of that, again, prayer must lead to action. We could sit and pray in our closets and talk to the Lord, and that is our way of fighting supernaturally and interceding when we understand because of who we are as believers of God. But now it is our action. So I am going to share the screen. I hope this looks right. Because I do want to show you just a little bit about the campaign. So when you look here, this is the homepage of our campaign, of our coverourschools.com. Have a little bit statistics and things of that nature. It's a little bit of information, everything you need to know about us, the team, myself. That's a what is that called? A little video about what started it. Now, what I did want to show you, of course, the menu, you can go and find all the different aspects of this initiative, or you could say this campaign. This is a little bit more information about me. If you care about all my degrees and all that other good stuff, all of that information is there for you to see. And then as well as other team members, we have some parents, stakeholders, a principal, just different people that are planning to help. Now, with this entire campaign, basically it is all done for whoever gets involved. Ideally, the plan is to get churches and ministries to be more involved. That is the goal. But at this point, it's still whoever has a heart or is interested and you just don't know where to go. So when you go to on the first page, you can download this guide right here. Is completely free. You can go download it right now, that'll be on your phone. Now, when you download, it takes you to our planning guide. This planning guide, basically, it is very organized. I'm an organized person, y'all. It breaks down everything of how do you create a relationship with a school. It gives you all type of ideas. That's what this part gives you. I'm kind of just scrolling through it so you kind of get an idea. Exactly like what to pray for, how do you cover your school by faith, and then ideas for how do you cover your school by works. FAQs are here. Then ideally what I ask for individuals to do is to complete the survey. Again, I would like to track data with this, and it just kind of helps to kind of get a frame of reference. When you go there, then you are able to complete this brief little survey, just giving me some information, some schools that you want to cover, and then we just kind of go from there. Once I get that information from people, then what you can do from there is, for a small fee, literally $20, you get access to the implementation guides. All of those proceeds go directly to schools. So there are schools that cover our schools as a whole has adopted and providing things for. So in those implementation guides, I don't want to misspeak. There's the church implementation guide, and then there's the school implementation guide. The church implementation guide gives you every type of idea you can think of. So how do you support with your school through faith, providing prayer opportunities, whether you are setting it up where teachers can pray with you at a different time of the day, a Zoom call, whether you're someone on staff who's doing that, or whether you're someone on staff, or maybe you're taking prayer requests. Maybe you work on campus and you're like, I don't feel comfortable to sit and pray in front of everybody, but hey, I got a prayer request box that's made available in the teacher staff allowance. Hey, here are some things. So those are opportunities, as well as it encourages people to participate in nationwide initiatives like See You at the Pole, the National Day of Prayer. There are ways we can support our schools through faith, and that church implementation guide breaks down all of that. It also breaks down all the ways you can support schools through works. So it's similar, the same outline. You saw how organized the planning guide was. It's the same way with the school implementation guide. With the works, it's broken down in categories. So how do you support through classroom and academic support, family and community engagement, clubs, activities, student enrichment, school support, and resources is broken down, as well as financial donations. Believe it or not, schools need money. Now, granted, they may not be able to take your donations and put it towards curriculum, but most schools have what's called a principal discretionary fund. So maybe if it's buying stuff for the teachers to build morale, your positive behavior intervention systems and things of that nature for your students, there's so many ways that donations and things of that nature can help. But of course, depending on where you live, double check with your principals to figure out those protocols. Now, with the school implementation guide, the church implementation guide, I also give you a complete checklist. Like, you really don't have to think. When I say it's all laid out, you don't have to think about it. It gives you a checklist of what to do. Pick somebody from your ministry who's your contact person, and then I give you a plethora of template emails so you can keep your relationship and build your relationship whoever your school contact is. So kind of copy and paste. And you may not be in a place where you cannot support a school through works, but you're like, I can pray. I can get some people to pray. Bet, got an email for you, everything you can put together. On top of that, you also have the school implementation guide, which is a resource that you can give to schools. And because I've been in education, I know what buzzwords to say. So you have those emails. It's information for that principal or whoever the point of contact is, what to do, FAQs from the school side. Of how they can navigate it, how they can use their faith-based partners in a way that is beneficial for everybody, the teachers, the families, the schools, the whole 9 yards. Now, the biggest thing about this campaign, which I want to make sure people understand, this is not about conversion. This is not about trying to go around and having people do the prayer of salvation, right? And accept Christ as their personal savior, nor is it about, if you are a church ministry, nor is it about you trying to build members in your congregation. That is not what this is. Cover Our Schools is simply about being the light, representing Christ in our actions and how we treat other people. I believe that the church should be the solution to the problems that we are seeing in this world. And it doesn't have to be, I'm going around trying to make people become Christians before I help them. No, this is still a public school setting. There are still laws. Right? You understand? And I have spent a lot of time looking at these laws and things of that nature because all of that stuff still matters, but we should still be the light. We should still be the light. We are not doing altar calls on people church campuses. We're not, you know what I mean? Like, we have to be mindful of that. We have to respect, we don't respect the law, but God has a way of drawing people. Now, if he draws, whatever happens just by you showing up and being the light, then handle it from there. But it's not going to be that you pushed it. You understand? Allow things to happen organically if that happens, because what you have to also understand is, while we have this Cover Our School campaign, I've seen the schools who got Satanist clubs. They have them, Satanist clubs, where they come together. So think about it. What if somebody came to your child's school and they were pushing their faith? Does that make sense? So we have to be wise enough to be able to look outside the box and see the bigger picture. Okay. So those are some things, those are some I know we prayed together for those who are on all week, and I appreciate your support, but I just hope it just does not stop here. So whatever your connection is with the school, where again, if you are an employee, if you work there, no matter where you're in the office, if you're on school campus, just let your light shine. Make a decision even first as an individual. What are you going to do to represent your light? Your light. Everyone knows on every campus that I'm at that I'm a believer. And it's not because I'm going around just saying, oh, I'm blessed and highly favored, right? No, it's the way that I walk. It's the way I talk. It's the way I carry myself. Yes, they pick up here little pointers, but they the first one to say, hey, go to Belle and she'll pray about it. No, I like that. But they also feel comfortable to be themselves around me because I'm never trying to convert nobody, right? I'm not trying to say, oh, you need to come to church. I mean, you have your times that you evangelize, but do people know? That's the first question, I guess, if you are a believer on campus. Do people even have an idea? Do they even know? How do you respond when there's gossip or things going on your campus? Like, how do you respond when there's just confusion? What are you known for? Even if you start with that alone, being mindful of that, because that's a part of your testimony. So this is just a charge, y'all. Let's keep it going. We don't know what is about to happen in our world with this public school and education and all of these cuts and all of these things. But the reality is we need it. Everybody's not able to go to a charter school or go to a private school, and believe it, them schools need help too. They need support just as well. But the Lord just put this on my heart to focus on public schools. So if you have any questions, if you need any ideas of like, how can you do this, take this, you got some ideas, you're not sure which way to go because of the laws, please do not hesitate. You can send me an email at info@kellyjbell.com. That's my direct, well, one of my emails, but that's one of my direct emails. I'll put that in the chat. That is a way for individuals to get connected or whatever question you might have. Or of course, go to the website at coverourschools.com. There's a contact box on there as well, and another email specifically for the Cover Our Schools. So again, I thank y'all. I'm not gonna keep y'all long. It's Sunday night. I hope y'all with with your families. If you weren't with your families earlier, go be with your families tonight. Let's continue to cover our schools each and every day. That's all we can say at this point. But stay connected as we have different things coming up. If you're not just Cover Our Schools, but things for marriage and things for motherhood, things for being a daughter of God, the books and the resources, check out the website, kellyjbell.com, for all of that type of information as well. But again, I thank y'all. Y'all have a great night and take care.